The biggest sporting event in the history of the state of Mississippi is just about a week and a half away as Ole Miss takes on the Tulane Green Wave. Let's talk to Bill Flowers and figure all of this out.
You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Willis, a 10-year veteran member of the national media with Yahoo Sports and a former Ole Miss staff member as well. We're going to bring in Bill Flowers to talk about this particular Ole Miss moment. It's got to be pretty special to be a former player and to see the level that Ole Miss has gotten to. Thank you for making Locked On Ole Miss your first listen every day. And please give us a like, subscribe, and comment on your way out. Check out a second listen on the network. Nearly every team, college and pro, is available. Bill, I know it's the second time that Ole Miss has played Tulane this season, but this is still a pretty cool moment.
Oh, for sure. I think this is a wonderful moment for Ole Miss, the fans, exciting for the program. I think that this program is primed to create a platform to continue to grow, and excited to see Ole Miss handle Tulane. Do I think Ole Miss will handle Tulane by 5 touchdowns and drug them through the mud like they did during the season? No. I think it'll be much more of a competitive game, but this is just awesome that Ole Miss has been able to get themselves in this position and with the opportunity to move forward through the playoffs.
Yeah, and style points don't matter anymore. You can beat them by 1 point
Yeah.
or you can beat them by 45 points, and it counts the same because you're not trying to get votes anymore.
Yeah. I don't think people realize how fortunate Ole Miss is to have gotten this slate of a game. If Ole Miss can play really well, get the oil in its joints, get it loosened up, get it lubed up for Georgia, that is a huge advantage. I don't think there was a team last year that had an off game that had the bye that won. Having a bye for over almost a month and then having to get up and go is very difficult. So to be able to have a home game, play Tulane, that they should be at least a 2-touchdown favorite, at least, is a huge advantage in the path toward the national championship.
Yeah, and you think about it, whenever Ole Miss played Tulane the first time, it was very early on in the process. It was like Trinidad Chambliss' second start. Kewan Lacy wasn't the Kewan Lacy that he became. There were still problems defensively that have been fixed as the season has gone on. Everybody's saying this is not the Tulane team that Ole Miss played back in September, but this isn't the Ole Miss team that Tulane played either.
Yeah, I mean, to beat a team twice in a season is not easy. So I think that the caliber of players that you have at Ole Miss versus Tulane is different. To beat an SEC team twice in a year is extremely difficult. To beat Tulane twice is not as a difficult task, but they should handle them easily, regardless if Tulane has improved, because just like you said, Ole Miss has as well. And I think the Kewan Lacy element is a really difficult thing for Tulane to be able to adjust to. I was listening to Summerall, and he was saying that the first time they played Ole Miss, they just physically got beat up. So I think that's where Ole Miss has gained the most strength, is in their physicality in running the ball, which is much more of an advantage for us and really their worst nightmare.
And Ole Miss hired an offensive coordinator yesterday for the 2026 season. Charlie Weiss is going to call the plays in the playoffs. But next season, John David Baker is coming back to Ole Miss. First of all, what do you know about John David Baker? And what is it like for a player knowing that somebody's going to come in and call the plays that's essentially calling the same offense? Nothing's really changing.
I think I don't know much about John David Barker, so I can't give you much information there. But as a player, thinking, okay, I might have different terminology, but I'm going to have the same plays. That's comforting, because when you're having to change terminology and change the philosophy of how you play, that's a completely different story. So I think the key to Ole Miss, whoever they would have brought in, is an offense that is going to continue to do what we generally do, but you've got to have an extremely strong, focused method. Running the ball is what's going to be able to keep Ole Miss in the college football playoff year in, year out. That's what the SEC is about. The SEC is not about who's the prettiest and who can finesse things. It's about who can control the line of scrimmage. And at the end of the day, if we have a offensive coordinator that comes in, continues to keep the offense fluid, and has a focus on establishing the run, then that's what these players and Ole Miss needs.
One thing's interesting, one of your old standbys, John David Baker, is very big on tight end usage. They actually outused the tight end that more than Ole Miss did this season.
Well, I think the tight end is the most important position on the field in regards to the passing game. If you can hold the receiver, if you can hold the safety in the middle of the field, and you have elite receivers on the outside, that makes everything so much easier. Also allows for the run game, for to keep that safety in the middle of the field, bring him down, go over the top. So I'm excited about any coach that's going to utilize a tight end as a receiver. That's your best friend, is a tight end that's going to hold the middle of the field.
And he's very good. Javante Connor, who originally signed with Ole Miss and transferred out to East Carolina, where he was to be with John David Baker. I guess there's a chance he could transfer back. I'm not 100% sure, but he plays the tight end position. And it was funny watching highlights of the East Carolina offense. It's like, oh, there's that concept that I remember, and there's that, and that's where that came from. And it's pretty cool. The structure is going to be the same. The tempo is going to be the same. There is going to be some slight variation with formations and personnel groupings and things like that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you know, I think being able to run the same offense, but to put it in different variations, like with Cutcliffe, we could run, if you had 9 plays, you could run that nine plays out of 9 different formations. So you're able to, you know, confuse the defense, put them in all different uh, uh, matchups, but you still have the same philosophy, is important. And I'm excited the fact that you've got somebody that is going to run the similar style of offense, utilize what Ole Miss has really focused on, is a power explosive offense. But if you got that one running back, that's what sets it apart. And at the end of the day, the running back, our run game, is what is going to create the success of the big play, long-term longevity of the season.
All right, Bill Flowers right there. If you want to listen to the full interview for Bill Flowers, it's on our All Access subscription plan. You can get that. The link's down in the description. We will continue with Bill Flowers and that in just a second. The NFL Sundays move fast. One big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so great. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds, every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift, a receiver gets hot, the defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment. Live spreads and money lines just instantly. Player props update as guys heats up, and you can be the next You can bet on the next touchdown score, the drive results, the totals. It keeps you locked in at every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit fanduel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast. Now, so can you. And let's talk about something that men don't usually bring up, but honestly, they absolutely should. Stress from work, money, and life, it doesn't just switch off at night. So when it shows up at the worst possible time, Rougiette Ready is designed to help you take back control. Rougiette Ready is a next generation prescription treatment created to support both brain and body so you can feel present, confident, and ready when the moment matters. Rougiette Ready combines 3 clinically proven ingredients in one mint that dissolves under your tongue so it absorbs fast. The science behind Rougiette Ready stands out. 3 clinically proven ingredients in one formula designed for both mental and physical readiness. You can connect with board certified doctor online and everything ships discreetly to your door. It's easy to understand why over 150,000 men have already made the switch. Most men are ready in about 15 minutes on average, so you can stay present, confident, and in control when the moment is right. If you've been thinking about taking that first step, now is the time. Head to Rougiette.com/lockedoncollege. That is RUGIET.com/lockedoncollege to get 15% off your order for a limited time. Rougiette Ready. Feel present, feel confident, feel ready. All right, if you want to watch the full interview with Bill Flowers, go to the All Access program. The link is down in the description. But this has been the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. Have yourself a great day.